welcome to this training. This is one you probably need to watch many times, and you actually probably should allow your team members to watch it, because I think if we're just all on the same page, life's just better. And you don't have to explain everything to everyone when you got me. Let me explain it to you. So if they were watching this, then you can come up with ideas to how to improve it or make it uniquely yours, whatever you want to do. For me, I think it's really helpful when you've got a document and a video and you go, there you go, watch that, and then you have a discussion, right? So every salon I help is different to the one before. There are some things that are absolutely the same, and there are a lot of things that are different. So you've got to get a little bit careful that you don't go, oh, mine's different to everything. But you also need to think and question the things that you're going to implement. And the more that you implement it with the people that you work with, the greater the success, because I don't believe it should be you decide all of the things and everyone has to do as they're told. It just doesn't work like that. You know, people want to be involved. And when people are involved, then they take action, they help you, they have a say, and definitely more heads are better than one. So today I want to share the screen with you and show you a document that I use, which is really simple, just to keep us all on track, and not just to keep a team member to do what they want to do. It's also about you, the salon owner, for you keeping track of what you've promised you do. And the reason I started to do this was I just felt really hard to keep up. I'm thinking, was it her that I talked to her about her retail, or was it her that I talked to about her rebooking? Because when you're doing the same things on repeat, but this one you're talking about that, and this one you're talking about that, and then it's very easy to get confused when you've got a lot of things going on. So if we make this one-page document the foundation of what we'll work on, you can look at it the night before and go, oh, what am I talking about? What do we promise that we would do? Probably not the night before, it's a little bit late. But if you've promised to do something for that team member and you don't do it, you need to own up to it. Don't make excuses. Just say, oh, this happened and this happened. And then we've got to think about how do we make sure that it doesn't happen again, because it keeps happening. Then we need to find a better solution, and it goes both ways. So I'll just share the screen with you now. So here we are back again. What I want you to do is I want you to print out a few of these, right? And I would put them in each of the team members' folders. So in the team members folder, you should have things like maybe your employment agreement, your health check, they should be in there. Any agreement that you have, like what they're going to be doing training on, maybe their buddy forms or their, and this might not make sense to you if you're not up to this bit yet, but you will soon. Things like your 6-box training plan, the assessment of what they can do really well and what they can't, and all the things. Now, there's many ways to have a one-to-one meeting, and there's many ways to check it, but the thing that you have to do is have them. Right? There's no excuse as to why you can't have a cup of coffee for 20 minutes or 30 minutes every week with a team member. And people say, well, she only works one day a week. I think, well, make it 15 minutes if you have to. But to me, this is what happens when you film in the afternoon. You yawn. I get up so early. So anyway, I'm making excuses as to why I'm yawning. And it's funny because the harder I try not to yawn, the worse it is. Sorry, off track, as you do if you're me. The more that you show them that you care, that you are involved in their progress, whether they work one day or whether they work 5 days, I don't think it matters. And I think you're kind of splitting hairs around stuff. So even if you have a girl that works one day a week, then maybe do hers every second week, right? So of course you don't want to spend an hour meeting on a girl who works 2 hours a week. That seems a stupid idea, but you're smart. You know what you need to do, right? But what you need to do is make everybody who works in your business feel like the important person that they should be. And that's the truth. So if you can't make the time to take that person out and buy them a coffee, then I'm thinking, or tea or a juice or whatever, then what's going on, right? Now, over the years, different ones have said to me, we used to do the one-on-ones and then we stopped. Why? Oh, the girls thought there was no point. And I thought, so you're making too much money, you've got too many spare hours and everything's working well. And they go, no. I go, well, why did you stop? Like, who made that person in charge of your business, I just think, and when things are going really well, then you should just reward them and say, how good are you? Look how far we've come. And that's why you need the book to go back and go, when we first started working together here, your average dollar sale was $79. Your highest was $79. there's no way that is your lowest. Your lowest now is always in the hundreds or $1 something. How good are you? What do you think happened? Success leaves clues. So if you're only going to come into a meeting and talk about the stuff that you want, that your needs as the business, then I don't think it's going to work. I think you need to be able to use your meetings to praise, use your meetings to critique, use your meetings to plan, use your meetings to celebrate, use your meeting to reflect. Like, I'm fascinated that people say, I've got nothing to talk about. I think, really? Like, think about the services that they provide. Is that what they love? Is there something that you could do that's better? Like, products are changing all the time. Treatments are changing all the time. Fashion's changing all the time. So of course this would. So when you look at this here, it's broken into 3 parts. The first one is thinking about, you're healthy, wealthy, and kind, it's called. So healthy is the first one, wealthy is the next one, and kind. So if you think about healthy, then what are you out of 10? How are you feeling today and why? Right? So the person can say to you, I'm a 4. And you think, oh, a 4, it's out of 10, remember? So 4 is like a fail as far as happiness goes. So talk to me about that. But if they say they're a 10, you go, talk to me about that. So it doesn't matter what it is. You need to be curious and you need to lean in and say, why is that so? Why are you a 10? Why are you a 2? Or why are you a 10 or a 1 or a 9? Right? It's just, it's a conversation starter. So if every meeting starts with what you are and why you are it, then that gives you good understanding, right? The next one is tell me about your health check. So your health check is the guide that tells you the numbers and the clients and how many retail products and your average dollar sale and all that. So notice I didn't say, I'm going to tell you about your health check. No, it's her health check. It's his health check. So tell me about your health check. So if they go, oh, here it is, there it is. That's not telling me about it. So what we're trying to do here is gather an awareness of what's going on. So I would like them to point out something that's good and maybe point out something that they're working on that hasn't really changed in a week, and they think, oh, I don't know what to do. You go, well, did you try this or did you try that? So it's just a conversation starter. So look, some weeks I would be happy to not look at the health check at all, especially when if the first question comes back with a 2, then why is it a 2? So you might be able to flush out that they've not had any sleep, that they've got this horrible boyfriend who keeps them up doing drugs all weekend and they're like a dead duck come during the week, and I don't know what it is. But if you don't lean in and be curious and think about how can I help this person with their health, how can I help this person with their wealth, as in their value, what wealthy means to you, what wealthy means to the business. Like, if you're not having these conversations, then we're not doing our one-on-ones properly. It's that simple. There's other ways you can do your one-on-ones that are less maybe complicated than this or have less guidelines. It's up to you. I'm not here to tell you must do it this way. What I am here to tell you is you must do a one-on-one every week. That's it. And I will never waver from that. I think it's really important to check in. And if you were a corporate business, you would have more than 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 meetings a week with people in different departments. And what we do wrong is we tend to say, oh, but I talk to them all the time. Not the same. It's not the same. You need to make a special time and place where they get 100% your attention. And I believe that should be somewhere where no one's allowed to interrupt. And I'd prefer it was in a cafe. Now, you don't go to a cafe and sit in the front row so everyone comes over and talks to you and wants to book an appointment. No, you go somewhere in a cafe where you hide down the back and you tell the waitress or the waiter that you don't want to be disturbed, please. Okay, so that's really important that they tell you about their health check. The next one is, how can I support you in this next week? What is it that you need? What would be helpful? So it could be more training. It could be that you want them to spot them. Like in a gym, when you go, the other day, the trainer wanted to put on more weights. And I said, oh, I don't want to. I said, I'm scared I'm going to fall. He goes, I'll spot you. So he was behind me. And I said, yeah, I know you're behind me because you told me behind me. But I said, I want you to just put your finger on the bar. And so he just put his finger on the bar and then I was happy to lift heavier. So it's just a mental thing. I'm fearful. So what is it they want? Do they want you to spot them or to listen out to consultations or to help them or remind them when they forget things? What is it that they want from you? right? So what is it that you need? And then you would say, okay, so if they say there's things from you they need, they go, oh, nothing, I'm fine. It's not an answer. We just say, there's not an answer. It's not an answer. When people say they're fine, I think they're saying, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to say, or I don't feel safe. So the more that you can have the one-on-ones and the more open and vulnerable you are, the greater you're going to connect. So don't expect that you're going to get this nailed week one. I find people take a long time to do this. For me, it's not hard. I don't know, and I'm 110, let's be honest. So I'm a lot older than most of you. So I've just done this for years, and I didn't do it when I first started, and that was the problem. I had no communication in my pipe. My pipe was squashed, and so that the information couldn't get through a squashed pipe. So when it's full and round, then all the information from me goes to them and from them goes to me, and it just works, right? So I didn't do this at first. It was an absolute game changer in my business. And the amount of people that I run into in events and that, and they said, your one-on-one structure changed my business. Just asking and listening was just game changing, because the salon owner is really frustrated and she wants things done, but she doesn't ask them what she wants done or communicate it well, and they're not mind readers. Look, the way to find the greatest people to work for you is be the greatest boss. If you want outstanding team members, then run an outstanding business and be an outstanding boss. It's that simple. Like, if you think people are going to just find you because they're looking for you, they're not. You have to be outstanding. And when you are outstanding and you lead in a place of healthy, wealthy, and kind, like if you have a healthy business, right, and it makes money and you can pay people well, and everything that you do and think about in your business comes from a place of kindness, hello, you're just going to be ahead of the pack. That's simple. So they were your topics, and you can go into the meeting having written some things or some points or something. But what I want you to do is go back to this one at the end, at the start of every meeting, and go, what did we write? So you might put a date up there. I don't know if it's got no time for a date, but there's room. There she goes with the yawning again. So what I want you to do here in these clarity boxes is I will and you will. So I will find 2 hours this week to train you on such and such, or I will find you a model. So maybe I'm going to call my mum or my sister or something, but I will, and you will, whatever it is. It might be, I will set my alarm and call you in the morning and tell you when to wake up at 5 a.m., which would be ridiculous. But if that's what you need to do, do it. And you will be at work 15 minutes before anybody else to show the girls that you are committed to change. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Just make it small. Something that they can do in a week, not something they're going to. I will train you how to blow wave. You will be a good blow waver. Too loose. So you might want to use this SMART, the SMART approach. So I will be specific around what you're going to do. So measurable, achievable, realistic, and in a time frame. So I will block out 2 hours for you this week. I believe it'll be Tuesday and Thursday. I'll look at my calendar when we get back, but I will block out and deliver you 2 hours of training on how to make a blow wave last, right? Because you might have had a blow wave that complains. And you will find me 2 models, or call Lisa Conway, because she's got long curly hair, and her daughter Tess Marinelli, and book both Lisa and Tess in this week, and you will do the blow waves and I will train you, and that will happen this week. So it's specific, isn't it? There's 2 people, me and my daughter. Is it measurable? Yes, 2 people. Is it realistic? Well, yes, if both of us can come in, and if we can't, then we'll find someone else, or you'll find someone else. Is it realistic, achievable? Yes, and in a time frame this week, right? Now, when we come back and that didn't happen, we go, well, what happened? Did we over imagine what we could do? Quite possibly. Maybe it might have been easier to get Lisa in twice because she's retired, whereas Tess has got a brand new baby and she's unlikely to be able to come. So maybe it's better to get Lisa in and blow wave Lisa's hair in a training on Tuesday and time how long it takes. And I'll give you a mark out of 10 and then get her in again on Friday. I don't know, but there'll be a tweak there at some point. What went well? All right. What went well and what do we want to repeat? So it's if you don't write it down, I say this all the time, if it's not written down, it's not real. If it's not written, it's not real. If it's not written, it's not real. Say that to your team. If it's not written down, it's not real. If you don't put it on a post-it note, I cannot guarantee you, there's usually a post-it note here somewhere. If you don't write it on a post-it note, I'm sorry, but it's not The chances of that happening without a Post-it note is pretty slim. So when I'm talking to someone, I'm always reaching for a Post-it note and I just pin them along there. And then sometimes it's as simple as I need to tell Jess something. So I write on there, tell Jess something. I get off the phone and I go, now I could probably not waste a Post-it note, but I'm really concerned that I'll miss it. And you have to know your strengths. My strengths is solving problems and seeing what other people can't see and uncomplicating the complex. Following through and doing the detail, not so much. And that's okay. I don't mind. Like I said, some people are very good at following the detail, but they're not very good at making up what they need to do. So we need everybody. Jess is really good at that. But what I know is I don't want to let you down by saying I'm going to do something for you and then not do it. So what I prefer to do is just put a Post-it note. That's just like in a cafe, 2 hamburgers and they put it there and a piece of fish and they put it there and something else and then they just move them all along. It's just a system. So you just need a system. That's what I need and that's my system. If I promise you something, I write it down. And then I look at them. There's Post-it notes up there. There's some in the kitchen. They're everywhere. That's just how I work. If you haven't bought Post-it notes yet, get the sticky. They're called super sticky. You have to turn them over and it says super sticky. The other ones are rubbish and they don't stick. Probably worse here in the humidity, but it's worth it. Get different colors because they mean different things. But if you have trouble not getting things done, it's for 2 reasons. You don't make the note visible. So it's got to be in your face, literally, for our creative types. And you need to be able to keep going back to it and keep going back to it. And if you see it and go, oh, I've got time for that, it's too big. It has to be a small dose, a small dose. And that's why the one-on-one meeting weekly is a small dose. If you're going to wait a quarter and then have a 2-3 hour meeting, good luck with that, because the list of jobs are too big and it seems overwhelming for everybody, including you, and it just doesn't work. So you can have that. I don't have a problem with that. But what you need to do is break it down to smaller and smaller and smaller bite-sized pieces. That's what you do. And when you do that, that's when your world will change. Just do little tiny things all the time, because the old saying, how do you eat an elephant? Well, you shouldn't be eating an elephant anyway, but if you were going to eat an elephant, let's pretend it's a chocolate one, one bite at a time. That's how you eat anything, okay? So if it's not happening, it's too big. So go and have a look at that. So hopefully that was helpful. The document's there ready to download. And if your team member's watching this, hello team member, I hope you enjoyed that. And now you should be all on the same page. Put them in the diary, block them off, and nobody gets that time. Nobody. My other tip would be that you do them in the morning, right? Some people like to do them at the very end of the day, but I think that sometimes your day can get hijacked by something that didn't go to plan. Whereas first thing in the morning, let's say you start at 10 a.m., then you meet one team member Tuesday at 9:30 and you buy her a coffee and you get started. So it might mean you have to go to the salon and switch on all the things that you need to switch on and prep, and then you would go and sit in the cafe and you'd have half an hour. So when you walk in the salon, everything's ready to go when the client comes. And then the next day you might have another team member and you do her coffee and meeting the next day before work. So each day you're having a coffee before work. It needs to be in the time and paid for. So you're paying for the coffee and you're paying for them to have a half an hour with you. It's called work, right? And it's really important that you do. It shouldn't be on their own time. What you can do, some people, maybe they've got children, they can't get there early. You could do a Zoom meeting with them and they might like to do it at 6 a.m. That's fine when the kids are still asleep. So from 6 a.m. till 6:30, you do a Zoom meeting like this and they're in their home, and then they might come to work at 12 noon. I don't know. You work it out. You're smart people. You work it out. But it has to be every week. And I'd prefer the same time of the day and the same day of the week. Because what we're looking for is to create a process where things are consistent and it feels like I need a meeting. Feels like we do the stock order. It feels like, right? So things just become automatic, not, oh, wow, that's run out. Oh, we haven't done that. No, I don't want that for you. Hopefully that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next meeting. Bye for now.